Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Nightwish. I'm Commander Exorcist. I am getting over a severe illness that hit me over the weekend, and it completely took my voice. This is the first day I've actually been able to speak regularly, and it's still extremely raspy, and it's very difficult to talk. It actually hurts, and I had posted to my social media feeds that I was not going to do a Taco Tuesday or a video of anything like this week. Primarily, well, mainly because of my illness, but there hasn't been a Galnet article. There was one recently related to the CG that happened. I was probably going to talk about that one, but there hasn't been anything of substance for a very long time. And then I'm convinced that Frontier has it out for me. I think they're trying to put me 6 feet under because they decided to wait until the weekend that I didn't have a voice to be able to release an actual legitimate Galnet article. Like we got an article that has substance to it and is actually involved in the real narrative of what's going on in Elite Dangerous. And so I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk about it, because I think that this is a continuation of what I had talked about in my previous video, the Titanic change of tactics, where I had called out that Frontier had hinted to this on the live stream and we just kind of ignored it. I think this is it. I think this is where we're going to see a major change. So we're going to talk about this article today. I'm going to try to talk about it as much as I can. I apologize. I will try my best not to hack and cough my way through this, but we will see what we can do. Let's get into it. So we've got Aegis is wary about changing Thargoid behavior. So there have been hints, and we've speculated about this since the beginning of the war. We've wondered what is going to happen with the Thargoids. Are they really going to sit back and allow us to take them out one by one? Well, we've done that for 4 of them. And I mentioned it, and I think a couple of other folks took notice of this as well. Hadad was a little more difficult in terms of the interior structure of the cloud and how hostile the Thargoids were. I think it was a little more difficult to take out than some of the others. And it did feel over, and it did fall fast, but it felt overall a lot angrier than the others out there. And, with obviously the hints from Frontier. And, I don't know what they can do. I don't know what they're going to do. And, there's talk of reinforcements. There's talk of other things. We've wondered, are there going to be more Titans show up? That would be a nightmare. I mean, really, can you imagine more of these things showing up? I mean, it's just an endless cycle of having to destroy these things. Not fun, not exciting. Please don't let that happen. But we're going to go through this article, and I'm going to talk about it as best I can in the context of what's going on, what I think is going to happen toward the end of this week when Tharg's Day shows up, and kind of relate back to what I talked about before. Excuse me. All right, let's do it. So, recent behavioral change in the Thargoids has prompted urgent discussion among Aegis researchers and strategists. Since the fall of the 4th Titan Hadad, there are increasing reports that the Thargoid expansion efforts have been growing weaker. That is true. There have been changes to how the Thargoids are dealing with their local installations that they've captured. Also, I've seen a reduction in Revenant sites. I've also seen that there's other changes to the Spire sites as well. Oh, they mentioned that. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I'm a little slow today. While Thargoids are continuing to expand outwards from the Titans, they are no longer reinforcing their Spire sites, which were a huge part of maintaining control over a vast number of systems. So those Spire sites have been very important, which is why they've been really important for commanders to go out there and farm the materials out of them. But it looks like the Spire sites, as we've taken out the Titans, it's almost like they built this network, and we've slowly been taking out the nodes that control that network, and the rest of the network is starting to collapse. Further, independent squadrons dedicated to defeating the Thargoids, like the SNPX, AXI, and MUD, have noted increasing ease in thwarted attempts to probe and invade systems. Yes, it's weird. There has been a noted change in the hostility levels of the Goyds. And so it has been a little bit easier to get into these systems, but that makes sense in the context of this war. When we look at, you have to look at this in percentages. And this is a common thing when you're talking about war or even just role playing. When you're looking at, say like you're playing a role-playing game, if you're up against 4 enemies and you take out 2 of them, you've decreased your enemy's combat capability by 50%. They had 8 Titans. They have 4. We have destroyed 50% of their war fighting capability. That is catastrophic. When you look at the overall statistics and you say, okay, yeah, they're still mounting a sizable defense. They're still fighting. Yes, they are, but we have destroyed so much of their infrastructure that it's just crazy to think about the losses that they have taken. And they seem to have just laid back and took it. And that's the thing that has really gotten a few of us kind of concerned. Stuff I've talked about before and stuff that Frontier has hinted to. So, Dr. Ivano Columbera, Imperial Science Academy's Director of Xenological Studies and Empire Liaison to Aegis, gave their view. Here we go. Let's see what they said. I have heard the strategy reports touting words like weakening Thargoid presence, and I must urge caution. I hypothesize that this change signals a strategic defensive response, not an enemy on their last legs. He's right. He is right. Now, that's very important to remember. The Thargoids are not beaten. An enemy like the Thargoids, something that is not willing to come to the negotiating table. We haven't been able to negotiate any kind of potential peace with these things. Even though there's people out there that want to do that, you've got these weirdos out there that think that they can pray to the Goyds and everything's going to be fine, or they think that if they just give the Goyds a flower and say peace, love, and happiness, that they're not going to get vaporized or turned into a Titan brain module. Yeah, that those people deserve what they get, but this enemy is not something that we can count out until the very last one is gone, or they've actively stopped fighting. Because while there's still one fighting, they will continue to fight. And it's kind of unsettling to be able to say that, because it sounds wrong. Like, the complete eradication of the Thargoids should not be our goal. Ultimately, driving them out of our homes and securing our borders and securing our people should be primary goal. But with an enemy like this that doesn't seem to listen to reason, and I say seem because we don't know yet. We always have to leave the door open. We're going to have to wipe out every single one of them. 50% is catastrophic in losses, but it's not the end. As long as they've got one Titan, they're probably going to keep fighting. There was a wise ambassador many years ago. He was on a space station, and he told the story of humans. And one of the things that he liked, that he respected about humans, he didn't necessarily like them, but one of the things that he respected was that if you fight human beings and you beat them, you can never truly beat them, because if you destroy their ships, they will pick up guns and fight you. If you take their guns, they'll pick up sticks and fight you. They will fight you with everything they have. Even when all is hopelessly lost, they will pick up the nearest item and they will defend themselves to the very last one. And it's that spirit of self-preservation that he was talking about. Londo Mollari is pretty good character, by the way. I've heard the strategy reports. Oh yeah, we already read that one. Okay, sorry. I believe that the Thargoids are consolidating and planning with the likely aim of reinforcing the final 4 Titans to prevent further losses. That's exactly what I said. Possibly moving things together, put them together, or put them in different places where it's difficult to actually do anything about them. If you can consolidate forces in key systems, they can take advantage of that network system that they've built and make the Titans so much stronger without having to bring in any more ships. It just is a positioning thing, and I wonder if that's what we're going to see. They may seem weak now, yes, but everything we know of Thargoid behavior suggests that this change shepherds something else. We are backing them into a corner, but this is when any creature is at its most unpredictable. Exactly. You never know what an animal's going to do when you put it in a corner. Human beings are the same way. Put us in a corner and we'll do anything to get out of it. And at its most dangerous. Yes. And so the Goyds they're at their most dangerous when they're spread out everywhere. They've got 50 Titans and they're just absolutely obliterating everything. They're not the most dangerous then. They're the most dangerous when they have only a couple of Titans left and they're facing defeat. On the heels of defeat, an enemy like this is going to be at its most dangerous. And so we have to be careful as humanity going forward. Aegis has urged pilots across the galaxy to take this warning seriously, and I urge you to do the same. Be cautious out there. Be ready for anything, because anything can happen. Take it seriously and work to end the war before the Thargoids have the time to retaliate. Humanity's war effort is currently directed towards Titan Indra. I thought it was going to be Thor, but apparently it's Indra, so that's what we're going for. Yeah, it's a wise thing to put. I'm really happy we got this article, because this is really a great summary of kind of how things are going, and it's a great companion piece to my fake article from last week. But it falls right in line with the fact that we have to be very careful going forward, because we haven't won yet. And until we can truly put up the victory banner, anything can happen. Everything's up for grabs. I'm still holding out hope that one day I'm going to land at a settlement and a Goyd's going to step out of a closet or something and I'm going to have to shoot it. That would be a dream come true, to fight on the ground. Do I think that's what's coming? I don't know. I hope. I wish. It would be nice, but I don't think so. All right. So, yeah, so that's what we've got going on here. Just kind of a brief update. If you ask me, I would not be surprised if it's a movement of the Titans into strategic positions, new positions that allow them to reinforce themselves without adding new ships and new forces, taking advantage of what they already have in system without having to make more stuff. Alternatively, the possibility of new spire sites or new things that we haven't seen before popping up. It's always a possibility. You never know. This is Elite Dangerous, and a lot of times none of it makes sense until it actually happens. So, hey everybody, these are the Disciples. If you want to join me on this channel, if you want to support my work, I do monthly vlogs, talk about the channel. I do early access to some projects I'm working on. Would love to have your support. Patreon.com/Commander Exorcist. Would love to have you aboard. All right, so I'm not going to belabor the point. My voice is starting to go again, but I think we made it through here. Again, apologize for the raspiness of everything. Hopefully here in the next few days I'll be back to normal, but I wanted to get this out because I didn't want to miss out on it, and I think that, it may not be something catastrophic, but something is coming, and, a change like this is necessary. It's necessary for the health of the war effort overall. And, the Thargoids are an intelligent species. They're not just going to sit back and take, one destruction after another without doing something about it, So we want to be prepared for anything. And anything is what we're up against. Hey, everybody, I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care. Fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.